Turns out Need for Speed Heat was supposed to get some other DLC cars. Ghost Games was essentially deathed before the release of Need for Speed Heat, which meant all the updates in the live service we were supposed to get basically are thrown away. Inneth the binneth. Now, we actually dug up some previews of what the post-launch was supposed to be, and one of the main significant things was supposed to be Club v Club. This was clearly the only thing that was left in the game. Everything else is, well, there's nothing there. But the lack of PvP and there being a crew v crew thing in the game tells us that there really was meant to be a significant update or few, which would have kind of been normal. What we did end up with was this update right here, the Black Market update. And we actually got one new car and one modified car added to the game. This one was the paid one, the McLaren F1, and honestly, one of the best cars in the game. See, I say one of the best cars, they tried to tone it down a little bit just so it wasn't OP. Remember how in the past we had an issue with the Hennessy Venom being OP and paid? We didn't want that happening again. But that's what we got in the list. In case you don't know how that DLC worked, 2 cars added, 1 free, 1 paid. They had some crazy casual upgrades on these cars, but you had to unlock those. You had to grind away at them, which I did find a little bit odd to say the least. Because in the game, all the customization was unlocked kind of from the go, so it was a little bit odd for when you paid for a car. Anyway, I've spoken about that before. Either way, it did pretty well. It sold well, and a lot of us were excited to have a new part of the game to be checking out. Though I think we all saw this getting very tedious if they did this with multiple cars. And that might be the reason we didn't actually get the next set. Clearly, Ghost thought it was a better idea to not release these cars at all because there is an Aventador and a Bugatti. This has actually been leaked by the person that actually designed the update's kind of UI. I don't think this was supposed to be told about because we have no idea about it. However, it does show you, of course, the McLaren and the Aston, which is the one we actually got. But above it is a Bugatti and also an Aventador. You might actually notice the Aventador from some leaked gameplay. This actually, it was in the game files and then stripped away from the game files. So we actually never got to use this thing, which is a big shame because it looks super sick. But this was supposed to be, well, previously it was in the files, then it was removed, and then it was going to be... It's a little bit odd. Basically, it seems like it was not going to be in the black market, and then it was because it was removed, and then the black market update 2 never came out. I think it's safe to assume then that if they were not added to the game and they were taken out, maybe they thought, oh, well, this is going to get boring fast. Let's just not do any updates at all and let's focus on... Well, they added crossplay. That was the last update. But these cars have probably moved to the next game for launch or post-launch. Again, another look at the Aventador. That is insane, and I really kind of wish we got that. I always wanted it. And of course, the Bugatti, some logo design stuff, but the Bugatti, look how wide that thing is. It is so wide. Bugattis are already big cars. What the heck is that? She is so damn chunky. Look at this arch. What the hell? That is insane. This was supposed to be in our game. We were supposed to get this. I'm excited about a Bugatti. What planet are we on right now? It's hard not to see this as a last kind of minute effort to get an expansion on DLC in the game or more things to do in the game. They did the basics of they have a new car. They don't want to just drop the DLC because honestly, other games do that and it's really not very fun. What is fun is to add new ways to play with those cars. I think they saw that it was probably going to be pretty samey if they kept doing that, and they could have done a better job if they had the time, but they didn't. Or they just never got to release the second one because they got closed. And another studio, Criterion, thought, nah, this is crap. Or they thought, nah, we can do better. Or something. But it's safe to say we're going to get some highly requested cars in the future. We've already heard about leaks of some other cars that, you know, Japanese variants, but we've also now clearly seen the Bugatti is here, so it looks like they're trying to cater towards both. I personally think there are a lack of supercars in the games. However, the last game did add a significant amount of them, so I think the focus should be on the Japanese boys on this one, or the older cars. I think every other game should mix it so there's more supercars one game, or just a mixture of both. To be honest, do both. But you know what I'm saying. But overall, I really hope for a much kind of longer post-launch with this next game. I'm sure that's kind of got to happen with this game. If it doesn't, people will be pretty annoyed because it's kind of expected in this day and age to get updates, especially when, for example, Heat had no PvP. The club mode was, even if that was meant to be the PvP or it was supposed to be a part of the PvP, it was pretty clear the game was meant to get a PvP update. The last 2 games got an update that added either free roam or, in 2015's sake, they added PvP. They know that people want it, and to remove it from this game, it just screams that it was supposed to be added. I'm expecting more to be added in 2022, considering that they're using Heat's budget. So, in case you don't know how it works, they kind of give budget based upon how the previous game did. That makes sense. That's why Heat had probably a lower budget, considering Payback didn't do so great. But that means they made Heat with the Payback budget. And Heat being one of the quickest selling Need for Speed games to exist, in fact, the quickest selling, it says to me that we're gonna see quite a significant round of updates on this game. And if we do not, I'm going to be shocked. I'm going to be appalled, quite frankly, because this has got a new studio, and they've got 2 studios, in fact, on this game, and probably the biggest budget Need for Speed has had in a long time, and technically an extra year to really work and plan out this stuff, at least plan the stuff that comes out post-launch. If there are not big things in this game, I will be shocked and I will be angry, and you will probably hear about it. But at the same time, I'm kind of expecting it. It has to be the case. But it goes on to the question, what would you like to see post-launch with Need for Speed 2022? This is a question I asked myself, and I think it's pretty much the same answer it has been for Heat cycle, the cycle of all the games that I've been playing recently. For example, we've been playing Gran Turismo and, of course, Forza. Maybe less so. New cars are nice. However, I am bored to death. Gran Turismo, a game with simulator kind of... the cars have been added a crap, let's be real. Forza, a game that should be really, really fun and experience cars and upgrade them and then just swap them and customize them. And I should be excited to try new cars. However, I dread doing the festival playlist because I've done it for 2 games now and I am bored out of my mind. It's forcing me to play the same events every month, renamed or rethemed different cars is what I mean, to unlock a car that I actually really want to drive, and then turns out it drives basically as I expected or the same as every other car in the game. There needs to be a middle ground here. Gran Turismo, I would be excited to try the cars because I know they're going to feel different, and that is a good thing. However, in an arcade racing game, there really needs to be a new way to play. So if you add, for example, a Dodge Charger or Challenger or something big and muscly and scary, make it so that we have an expansion for playing as a cop car or something, or playing as like a mini game online, more fun modes of cops versus robbers, or lap knockouts, drag racing, or kind of car specific challenges. Something different for everything you give us. I want new ways to play, especially in arcade races where cars do feel a bit different, but they don't feel significantly different like Gran Turismo. They're not specifically meant to be how realistic. Make it so that they're different or fun and have a new way to play with those cars. Look at Burnout, and I know that's kind of the opposite of what I've been asking for in the past, but take a look at Burnout. Your Criterion, you made it, and look at how you kind of had a new mode or new thing in some cars. You had the toy cars, which were just wacky in general, but you had cars like the GT Nighthawk with the flashing lights and the boost and the knots, and they had the boost cars. They all had kind of differences. A new way to play is so much better, whether it be new events in general, new types of events, so much better than just giving us a new car. I am bored out of my mind driving new cars that drive the same anyway. What is the point? I do not care. I don't bloody label cars new and charges for old cars that were supposed to already be in the game, like Forza does with the Porsches, or just, oh, here's a Nismo GTR. I do not care. I will make a Nismo GTR of the normal GTR if I care. That's the better way to do it. Give us the parts for it or something. That's cooler, I think. So the black market, it was supposed to be more than we actually got. I'm kind of disappointed it wasn't, because I loved Heat. It was honestly so good. I really hope we get to see some of these cars in the next game. I'm pretty sure we will. But I'm hopefully hoping that ultimately the game gets post-launch support that's actually worth trying. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Subscribe for Need for Speed 2022 stuff. Hopefully we'll hear about the game next week, in a couple of weeks. Until next time, peace.